I'm Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Friends at Gameology, hosted by friends at Gameology.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less.
Impulse by Carl Chudik. Sometimes, or lots of times, we don't mention the designer, but this one is a very prolific designer not prolific, but like he does very similar things where they're very complicated to learn, but then once you've played them a bunch, they're not complicated at all. This is that game as well. Your cards are everything. They're your currency, they're the things you're exploring, they're the actions you take in multiple different ways. So, you are ships. This is a 4X, what is it? BGG says, quick playing 4X game. So you're exploring, you're expanding, you're exploiting.
And exterminating
your opponents. So you put cards that everyone can play, you do things that only you can do, and you try to get the most, or the one to get to 20 points first. That's the winner. So let's just jump. Simplicity versus complexity.
This is a very complex game, not only in the rule set, which it kind of bogs down in a lot of details. There's a lot of rules on each card, changes the rules and lets you do things at random and some deliberately. But on top of that, like Molly said, there's the reason it's called Impulse, what gets its name Impulse, is there's an impulse that you play a card to at the beginning of your turn, and everyone gets to use that card. And the impulse will be capped at, say, like 4 cards, and so once it gets to 4 cards, I'll take the
longest standing one?
Yeah, the longest standing one. How do you say that? The one that's been there the most. I'll take that away and put a new one at the end of the impulse, so everyone will get a chance to use it. By the time it gets back around to me, it probably won't be there anymore, depending on the player count. And wow, you're saying I'm going to put a card down that I need to use, but I'm going to give everyone else that benefit as well. Then the way you explore, you put cards down that anyone else can come and use as well. And so, man, that takes a lot of thought. If you get multiple uses out of it that way, whereas you'd only get one use out of it if you just played it from your hand, but maybe it's really good, and so you have to take that risk. This game is complex.
There's so many things you need to do in order to score points. So, and there are multiple games that are like this, but it just requires a lot of thought. I want to get to the core, which means I have to be able to play command cards or some other cards that let me move a specific ship that I need to move, because there's 2 different types of ships. And I need to move the cruiser, I need to move it there. Or I need to attack him. I want to move through a card to get those points. There's so many steps in order to do that. Because you can't just say, well, I'm going to play this card. Well, you can, but then that's only one time use. So what if I could do it every single turn? I mean, there's so much, and then you can make it better. You can expand it and make it so that you can move 2 ships instead of just 1, or move twice instead of just once. So there's a lot going on. Your cards do everything for you, and so there are different things that matter in this card on each card, and so there's a lot going on. So it's pretty complex. But like I said, after a handful of plays, you'll understand how to do it, and therefore it'll be a quick game, just like all of his other games. Luck versus strategy.
This game has a lot of luck going on in it. Some of the cards will say, research 1 green card from your hand. Okay, so if you have a green card, you play it. Some of them will say, draw 1 card from the deck, then draw 1 green or yellow card from the deck. So you draw a card, you just get it. Then the next card you draw, you check it out. If it's green or yellow, you keep it. If not, discard. And that's where it gets lucky. You're drawing blindly. You don't know. It could just be what you need. Maybe it won't be. You're trying to blow up your opponent's ship. You draw to see. Oh, didn't get it. That's just bad luck. So there are cards that let you do deliberate things, like trade 1 blue card from your hand. Okay, there's no guessing. If I have it, I can trade it. But otherwise, the luck could swing in your favor big time or against you. There is a decent amount of strategy, but the luck aspect can't be ignored.
There is a lot I think there's a lot of strategy. As Tom was speaking, I was thinking, yeah, he's right. He's totally right. So there's a lot of luck. And then I thought, there's also a lot of strategy. And it has to do with what you're given in your hand. Like lots of games. What cards are you dealt, and what are you going to do with those cards? If you're not given a lot of things to research or mine, then you've got to go another route and just try to beat your opponents who are mining like crazy, which I don't know that I've ever seen happen, because mining is really, really good and really important. But there are strategies. Do you put bad cards here? Do you put really good cards here? So depending on what actions you want to do. So there's a lot of strategy, but like Tom, there's also a lot of luck in this game. Fun versus boring. I find these games to be fun. I find it the thing that it makes you think so much about what you're doing is fun. And having to work through, okay, I need to do this, in order to finally get these points, I really enjoy planning. I don't necessarily plan my turns in advance, but sometimes I plan 2 or 3 turns in advance if all goes according to plan, which it never does because the impulse changes. And so I think, oh, that new thing got added. I can do this now because my opponent added a card that I can do something cool to. So I find it to be intriguing and to use my brain power in a way that is stimulating and fun.
So I, too, find this game to be fun sometimes. It goes back and forth for me because this is a game where you can plan everything and go for the win. And you should. That's what you're all playing for. We're all trying to win. But there are cards in here that let you do wacky things. Like plan cards from the deck. And if you get the right ones, you'll plan. You don't know what it's going to be. You just plan a card. And it comes out. It means you get your own personal impulse that only you can use. And it's so cool. And you get like a lot more actions. But maybe there are actions that you don't have. And you only get to use them once. And it says like, mine a red card. And you don't have a red card. So it was a waste. So you get these cool, wacky things. But you can't always use them. And so I'm torn between, I want to do this super fun, wacky stuff and see if I can get in these hijinks. Or I just go the boring, efficient route. And that's where I just go back and forth and waffle on it. Board Game Geek rating system.
7.
I would go 6.
Impulse. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.